Oh yeah, I love the ride.
It's a nice ride till December 7th.
Oh yeah. Nice ride till January 7th.
Actually, yes. Yeah.
Why do you want to end that thing?
If you think about it, yeah. We just hope that it doesn't take too long, like the Americans took so long.
Yeah,
so,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, just hoping that whatever happens, it will be straightforward.
Quick.
It will be peaceful. Whoever wins just moves on, and we just go on with our lives.
And we wait for 2024.
Yes.
You know, when I was I woke. Do you know what woke me up this morning?
Tell me about it.
The public announcement trucks.
Okay,
the parties.
campaign.
One campaign and telling me the president is in my area.
So you should wake up and come and watch.
Come and watch the president.
So it's like an information van or what?
Yeah, of the MPP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woke you up this morning.
Yeah. After they came yesterday to Chanalowski, they put latrite on my road.
Really?
Yeah, and then it rained heavily and it has washed the latrite away.
Yeah.
So cost 90.
Well, at least they tried. My area, there's nothing like that, so we'll see.
Anyway, we're at front page of the Daily Graphic. Obechebi Lamte interchange opens. Too much fanfare, Bernard. And then presidential election dispute. Judgment in 42 days, Supreme Court declares. So the speed you are talking about also happening in court. Political jostling in Ashanti. NPP, NDC in two-horse race.
The Ghanaian Times says, publication of voters register details. We are mandated by law. That's the EC speaking. President inaugurates first phase of Obechebi Lamte interchange project. Verdict on 2020 presidential election dispute to be delivered within 42 days. And ministers of 6 newly created regions give accounts of achievements.
Front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. I am not in bed with government, EC boss. Nana opens Kaneshi interchange. Mahama on promising spree. And manual on election adjudication launched.
The Finder says, easing of Accra traffic. President opens first phase of Obechebi Lamte Circle interchange. Mahama doesn't deserve any more chances at presidency. That's the president speaking again. Telcos paid 3.2 billion cedis in taxes and other remittances in 2019. Newly created regions witnessing massive infrastructure projects. That's according to their ministers. And engineers and planners bid to buy gold company for $220 million.
Front page of the Herald has that story as well. Engineers and planners expresses interest in gold mining company. Mike Okoye cries over monkey they work, baboon they chop in MPP, and this is Mike Okoye Jr. Okay. BOG governor raises alarm on the Akufo-Addo's COVID-19 freebies. Other chiefs, people excited at Magdan's takeover of Songo Salt.
And the Chronicle also has a take on the EC's point. We are not in bed with government. Jean Mensah tells critics. 5 interchanges in 4 years. I deserve 4 more. Mahama worried over delay in constructing Bolga Boku Road. And God will expose Mahama on December 7. That's according to the president.
Front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper. Government is committed to winning COVID-19 war. Chief of Staff assures. Akufo-Addo free SHS babies turn envoys.
The New Crusading Guide says Mahama hasn't changed. He still has nothing to offer. That's according to the president. Obechebi Lamte Interchange Phase 1 commissioned as government remains committed to addressing traffic congestion. Engineers and planners offers to buy interest in Cardinal Resources. And GUM poised to break NDC MPP jinx. Plus, Ambassador Okoye Jr. whips up support for Nana and Adwoa Safo.
Finally, from me, Bernard, let me take you to the front page of the BNFT, Business and Financial Times. Businesses bullish about economy ahead of election. 48% of telcos revenue consumed by taxes. That's according to a new study. GRA Guta begin moves to draw informal sector into tax net, and also a story here on the Songo Salt project.
Taking you online, EC defends decision to make voters register public. This is citinewsroom.com. Also, 45 kilowatt mini hydro plant commission in Volta region is a pediatric dam, according to the Hohwe NDC candidate. In other stories, Akufo-Addo has delivered, giving 4 more years, according to Alan. And Mimananado says Mahama hasn't changed. He has nothing new to offer. All this on citinewsroom.com. If you go to citybusinessnews.com, telecom sector paid over 3.2 billion cedis in taxes last year, according to a report. Also, Ghana can't industrialize with green energy. This is according to GAIEX Dr. Seth Deborah. Meanwhile, this engineers and planning stories is everywhere. Expresses interest to acquire shares in Cardinal Resources. Meanwhile, stakeholders are questioning impact of high interest rates on local businesses. If you go to myjoyonline.com, give Akufo-Addo the credit he deserves for implementing free SHS. This is Dr. Educhum. Also, I launched free SHS in 2015 according to Mahama, and Rawlings settled my Jamestown land dispute. This is Father Campbell. If you go to Star FM, Eastern Region Police disrupt Anti-Akufo-Addo press conference at Achim Enyi Nase or Achim Enyi Nasin. Akufo-Addo Commission's phase 1 of Obeji-Villamte interchange, and we have the right to publish voters register. This is Jean Mensah speaking at the meeting with the press yesterday. Ghana News Agency leads with a manual on election adjudication, which was launched yesterday. Meanwhile, the Vice President says we will ensure holistic development of Zongo communities, and EC spells out code of conduct for observers. So, guys, so much to talk about this morning.
Okay, I want to talk about the EC and the data issue. On page 20 of the Daily Graphic, the story is by Joshua Bediaku Kumsin. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Jean Mensah, has justified the decision by the Commission to publish full details of persons captured in the voters' register, indicating that Constitutional Instrument 127 of the 1992 Constitution enjoins it to do so. Although concerns were raised about the breach of data protection laws, she said from the Commission's point of view, the voter's ID card was only meant for voting processes, and in the era of transparency and openness, it was necessary for the details to be published for voters to check their details before voting commenced. Quote, when the details were published on our website, we observed that there were some issues with functionalities and the format with which it had been put there. So we quickly called the IT personnel to include and introduce new systems to make it more functional, and we intend to upload it again in a few days, he said. We are even required to publish the photographs of the voters, but we have decided to take the photographs out. We are working to introduce more functionality into the system, and it will soon be posted again.
Two reactions. Speaking on Eyewitness News, the MPP's Director of Elections, Dr. Evans Nemaku, says they don't have any issue with the EC deciding to make the voters register public. He says the EC, according to law, is supposed to give these details according to CI 91 Regulation 27.3, which allows the EC to give copies out. He added that despite people's opinion on the publication of the voters register, it's just a way of making the election process transparent and fair. But if you go on the same website, Franklin Kujo of Imani describes the decision as amateurish. President of Imani Policy Think Tank has criticized the EC for making the electoral roll public. According to him, the EC's actions will create room for manipulation of voters' personal details. And he says, you compromise the data of a lot of people. It's not a sensible thing to do. Anybody having this data can easily manipulate it, and it is amateurish, Mr. Kujo said on the same program.
Well, if you go to page 13 of the Daily Graphic, elections may come with disputes, and so the Supreme Court or the Chief Justice has been speaking on how to settle such matters. And the story says, should there be any dispute about the presidential results in the 2020 general elections, the verdict will be delivered within 42 days of filing. That's according to the Chief Justice, Justice Enini Eboa. Additionally, only a candidate who contested in the said election will be eligible to sue. This means that political parties and party members will not be allowed to join the case as it was in the 2012 presidential election petition. At the launch of the 4th edition of the Manual on Election Adjudication in Ghana in Accra yesterday, Chief Justice Yeboah said the new election dispute management guideline was in line with the constitutional instrument CI 99, which came into force on January 5, 2017.
Well, let me track the candidates for you then,
Nice.
Bernard.
Yes.
On page 18, we'll create lasting harmony between Agogo farmers and herdsmen. This is John Mahama. The presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has promised to address the recurring conflicts between farmers and herdsmen at Agogo in the Ashanti region. He said the next NDC administration will construct a permanent ranch in the community to house cattle of the herdsmen, who were mostly Fulanis, to help prevent the destruction that their animals were alleged to be causing to crops. He said the ranch would be constructed on a 20,000 hectare land that the government would acquire with the help of the local assemblies, the chiefs, and the people of the area. Now, he also went to New Edubiase, where he addressed another Durban and called on the people to desist from voting skirt and blouse, which the former president said when given the mandate on December 7, he would need a parliament in which the NDC held a majority of the seats to properly execute his agenda of addressing growing unemployment, revamping business operations, and restoring peace, security, and harmony
So this is
among
obviously
Ghanaians.
from the weekend, because now he's in the Upper East region.
Yes.
Still on the campaign trail. What else do you have?
Akufo-Addo is best for Ghana, says Kwabena Japan.
Okay.
He's
Where was he speaking?
in Koko.
Okay, let's get there.
Okay. Now, a former General Secretary of the NPP, Mr. Kwabena Japan, has stated that President Nana Akufo-Addo is the best person who can secure the security and progress of the country. He said the president had in the last 4 years demonstrated to Ghanaians and the world his excellent leadership skills and spectacular empathy, and embarked on socio-economic policies and social intervention programs that had inured to the benefit of many
What
people.
about the other parties? Aren't they doing anything according to the graphic?
No.
Okay, so let's go into the launch of the Obeche Bilamte thing.
And that's in the Finder on page 2. And the story reads, President Akufo-Addo has commissioned the first phase of the $135 million interchange project at the Obeche Bilamte Circle. The president officially opened the interchange to traffic yesterday as part of activities marking the final leg of his tour of the Greater Accra region. The project forms part of measures by government to improve urban mobility within the western part of Accra. The project is a 3-tier interchange, with the ground level being a roundabout, the second being an interchange between Graphic Road and the Kaneshi Malam Road, and the third tier as a flyover on the ring road from Royal House Chapel International to the Central Mosque at Abosso Kain.
This is fantastic news for those who use that road. Now, still in the built environment, this is actually mining. Engineers and planners want to acquire shares in Cardinal Resources. This story is on a number of papers. I have it on citybusinessnews.com. Ghanaian-owned business, Engineers and Planners, has expressed interest in acquiring shares in Cardinal Resources. Now, Cardinal is a West African gold-focused exploration and development company that holds interest in tenements within Ghana. In a press release on November 24, Engineers and Planners said it intends to take over a conditional off-market cash offer to acquire all the ordinary shares in Cardinal. The statement is then given. The offer value is given in the story. Engineers and Planners is owned, as you know, by Ibrahim Mahama, and their offer period will commence on 18 November and be open until the close of trading 31st December this year, unless extended or withdrawn in accordance to the Corporations Act 2001. Now, there's the details and the background is given as well in the story.
If you go to page 4 of the Finder, since we are talking business and all that, telcos are in the news and they are said to have paid 3.2 billion cedis in taxes. Now, the amount represents approximately 9.5% of Ghana's annual total revenue basket, and this contribution is largely conservative and does not take into consideration the inputs of other players. The mobile industry tax contribution in previous years includes 2.2 billion in 2018 and 1.74 billion in 2017. And the CEO of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Dr. Kenneth Ashigbe, revealed that the figure was from a study indicating total tax contributions enabled by the mobile industry to support the socio-economic developments of the country.
Well, he has other concerns. He's looking for tax restructuring. According to the Business and Financial Times on page 2, the angle says that Mr. Shibe says the mobile industry believes that policy enablers such as tax reforms, tax rebates in relation to import of infrastructure and equipment could improve the affordability of mobile tech and services for customers, yielding greater strides for all stakeholders in the long term. The Chamber also noted that some actions of government, including what the Chamber describes as overtaxing the sector, are frustrating its own digitization agenda. Quote, the issue of we want money now is an action that is sacrificing the digitization agenda in terms of being able to push it. Truth be told, most of us in the cities are benefiting from the digitization agenda, but for it to take root, we need to make sure that it is pervasive throughout the country. Now, on page 3 of the same paper, good news about the economy. Business bullish about economy ahead of election. And if you go to the Daily Guide as well, Bernard, it has a front page story that says economy picking up. So new data, that's on page 9 on Daily Guide. The BNFT says that new data from the Bank of Ghana revealed that despite the pandemic generally slowing down momentum of the economy, coupled with the upcoming general election, businesses remain confident about economic prospects as indicators show activities have picked up months after COVID-19 related restrictions were eased. The growth is even more impressive when compared to the lockdown period, which saw the index which is the Bank of Ghana's Composite Index of Economic Activity, take a sharp nosedive to hit minus 10% in April. So,
you know what's interesting? The same MPC meeting has different headlines. So Nathan read one headline where Dr. Addison's comment about borrowing and the freebies government was giving for
Yes,
COVID was emphasized. In fact, today it was in the news as well.
Yeah, Herald also has that story.
Yes, but then of course from the same press conference, Samobwedu is writing and talking about the economy picking up. So a lot of things were said at that particular program. Now there's also a couple of things. Our Michael Kwe, I heard a story, two stories. Michael Kwe Junior, in one story, he's campaigning for Ajasafo and Anado. In another story, he's saying monkey the way, baboon the chop. And I'm guessing it's from the same program. So this is the way it goes. So it depends on the paper writing the story and what they choose to focus on.
I'm looking at the monkey the way, baboon the chop one.
Because on the different headline you read, you
That's the new crusading guy.
yes, where was he speaking and how come they are quoting something different?
Okay, maybe Godfred can give us the other angle.
Okay, so it starts with a quote. I thought they would call us for appointment like they did when there was work. Narrates how he Nana Kumiasa and John didn't become ministers, which is Michael Kwe Jr. Now, he has bemoaned the Dija phenomenon in the NPP, where some people are only meant to work while others who are lazy about are quickly called and offered juicy government jobs when the party wins power. According to...
So where was he speaking?
It is not indicated in... Okay, he was speaking on Good Morning Ghana on Metro TV.
Okay, but if you check the New Crusading Guide version...
So they say that His Excellency Michael Kwe Jr., as part of his political activities in Dom Kwabenya, engaged the constituents in a mini rally at the Kwabenya MA School Park with a call on party supporters to focus on canvassing votes for the MPP. Now, he was speaking on Sunday. That's when he met them and he urged people to vote for the president.
So these are two different places.
And according to it, he said he did not want to become a high commissioner.
Let's go to the Citi newsroom again. I'm not pleased with Waiko Valiki Wasi papers. This is from Dr. Educhum. Yesterday we interviewed him. Again, his story is also doing pretty well. Deputy Education Minister Yao Educhum has expressed displeasure at the work of WAEC with regard to reports of cheating and examination leakages in the 2020 WASI. I'm not pleased with the work of WAEC because there's a way to stamp out cheating in the classroom. And if we don't do it, we're undermining the great policies that various governments are implementing in the field of education. Because if children think they can cheat, then why would they take learning seriously? He was speaking on a Citi breakfast show and he says this is not the first time this has happened, and he's basically urging WAEC to be stronger in stamping out cheating in exams.
If you go to page 5 of the new publisher, the NAPMO boss, Kwabna in Centre, says he has information that arsonists are planning to cause mayhem in Kumasi.
Hey.
According to him, these faceless arsonists want to set fire to hospitals and markets to plunge Kumasi residents into hardship ahead of the national elections. Now, he did not provide any hardcore evidence to support his claim, but he said arsonists only wanted to reduce the votes of the MPP.
Now, there's a story about the Songo Salt project.
It's made a lot of front pages.
Yes, let's get it quickly before I go to some local politics.
I also had two stories for you. Let me deal with Songo.
Okay.
For you,
so that,
on the front page of the BNFT.
Yes.
The Adar Songo Salt project is to soon take off following Parliament's ratification of its mining lease. The project, with a production capacity of between 130,000 tons and 200,000 tons, is expected to boost employment and economic activities within the Adar area of the Greater Accra region. The man Kralo of Adar, Nene Agude Ubiche, who addressed a press conference on behalf of the chief of Adar, Nene Abraham Kabu III, lauded President Nana Akufo-Addo for fast-tracking ratification of mining leases for the project.
Okay.
Now let me give you two quick stories, Bernard. If you go to page 41 of the Daily Graphic, dwindling inflows to COVID-19 fund worrying. Justice Sophia Akufu. The chairperson of the National COVID-19 Trust Fund, Justice Sophia Akufu, has expressed worry over dwindling inflows to the fund. She said that could be due to the misconception that the coronavirus disease had either been eradicated or was going down. Speaking at a symposium organized by the fund to engage its key stakeholders and the public on the way forward, Justice Akufu said the slowdown in donations was impacting negatively on the work of the fund.
Fantastic. Now, you said you had two other stories.
Yes, VRA increases power generation and revenue.
Let's get into that.
Okay, that's on page 54. The Volta River Authority posted a significant increase of 23% in hydro energy sources and 55% in thermal energy generation in 2019. The authority also sold 1,744 gigawatts of energy it contracted from the Takrady International Company of Ghana Tico through power exchanges with Compagnie Ivoirienne d'Electricité. The board chairman of the VRA, Mr. Ando Awatri, has disclosed some good news there.
Now, let me take you to a few local political stories. So, KEEA PPP confident of snatching seat from NDC Samuel Atta Mills. Story says that the Progressive Bold Party has vowed to snatch the Commander Edina Eguafo Brim constituency seat from the NDC Samuel Atta Mills. According to the PPP, lack of vigilance on their part during the 2016 polls cost them the election, but they are poised to win this time around. In a Citi News interview, National Secretary of the party, Paako Akon, said the party's campaign team has been vigorously spreading their message of change in the constituency to ensure their candidate John Sterling emerges victor December 2020. Then another story still on local politics. 45 kilowatt mini hydro plant commission in Volta region, a pediatric dam. This is Hogwe, NDC candidate. This is from point of view on Monday. The NDC parliamentary candidate for Hogwe, Professor Margaret Kweku, has cast doubts about the significance of a recently commissioned mini hydro dam by the president at Alavanyo. She says the project can best be described as a pediatric dam meant for child's play. I wonder why she said that. Nana Akufo-Addo on Saturday, November 21, commissioned the 45 kilowatt mini hydro generating station and said the project will provide power for the people of Alavanyo and its environs. The Bui Power Authority, which supervised the construction, indicated the dam will not require the formation of a reservoir to operate. But speaking on the point of view, Professor Kweku was of the view the project is of a rather low power generation capacity to serve any useful purpose for residents. And then finally, still on local politics, Xavier Sosu donates textbooks to schools in Lankwantana municipality. In fact, we should create a donation page because there's so many stories of people donating motorbikes, books, all kinds of things. Like,
but
it's almost like if you want to show you love people, just go and donate something.
But the motorbike angle fascinates me, considering the public feelings towards motorbikes. And we do know, Bernard, that after the elections, the motorbikes will serve other purposes.
Yeah, that's true. But people are donating other things. So, for example, Northern Region NDC chairman donates first aid kits to prison service. Xavier also donates exercise books. Some people donate T-shirts. But a lot of the people are donating motorbikes.
Motorbikes is very, very,
a lot of them
popular.
are donating. Yeah, some are donating laptops too. But motorbikes are the most popular items for donation.
Yeah, and a quick one from me, Bernard. More AstroTurfs launched, though. Back page of the Daily Graphic.
Okay.
Vice President inaugurates projects at New Fadama.
Coleman.
Yes. Good morning, Robert Coleman.
This is
Wembley.
Okankwe Central.
Yes.
So
the Vice President,
Buama.
Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, has inaugurated a newly constructed AstroTurf at New Fadama in Accra, named after the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Osman Nuh Sharabutu. The new turf has stands for spectators, changing rooms, and an inner perimeter, among other facilities. Now, the Vice President did the launch for this, and according to him, since the MPP came to, when the MPP came to power, there were only 2 AstroTurfs in the whole Ghana.
And how many do
but
we have
today
now?
We have constructed close to 29 AstroTurf, and about 10 out of the 29 are in Zongo communities.
Is a big man. So is that one constituency, one AstroTurf?
We don't have. We need one in Ablekuma West.
The whole damn so I don't have a.
No, we have one. It's private. It's for Lord Komi.
So the one he does, is it public?
Which one?
Okay, so this one is the one he launches for the
Abain project.
So the MP and the.
Yes.
I see.
Madam Eslosu, good morning.
So you are in Dansoma. You don't have an
West.
You don't have an AstroTurf.
We need one.
But you have a Keep Fit Club.
So let's come and do the AstroTurf at the Keep Fit Club.
But you also have
inside
but
Liberty
you have
Park.
Park. Liberty Park.
Yeah, so they should come and give us AstroTurf at Liberty Park. It serves the whole community.
2 weeks to elections, too late.
It is not too late. We have said it.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.